Before this video starts, I want to let you guys know that this weekend, Sunday, July 10th, I will be holding a fan meet in Dallas, Texas. I will be pairing up with the Endless Car Movement. We will be at the big Nebraska Furniture Mart in the Colony. I will be bringing both of my cars, and the first 30 people that come see me will actually get free Shank Squad decals. All the other info will be in the description. I can't wait to see you guys there. What is up, guys? So today I am bringing you a very, very cool car. This is one of my favorite front-wheel drive cars that I think I've ever been in. So today I'm going to be driving not just a Mini Cooper, not a Mini Cooper S, not a John Cooper Works Mini Cooper, but a Mini Cooper GP. This is like the big dog when it comes to all of the Mini Coopers out there. The GP, just for simplicity, is pretty much it's pretty much a 1M in a little itty bitty Mini, and it's got 6 piston brakes up front with 2 pistons in the rear, so it has a lot of stopping power from the factory, and it's got Bilstein coilovers, fully adjustable Bilstein coilovers from the factory. So it's naturally, it is a track car, and this car wants to go. Mini Coopers have been some of my favorite cars just because you can really just hoon in them. I mean, there's really not much room for error in these cars, and they do what you tell them to. So this car from factory comes with about 215 horsepower, and this one's tuned. It's got about 15 more horsepower than that. It comes with pretty sticky tires, like I said, big brakes, suspension. The nice thing about this car is it's got pretty much every bit of chassis bracing you could ever want. You have this giant rear strut bar from the factory, and along with that, like, you've got a very nice poppy exhaust. Now it's in sport mode for me right now, so that's why it's getting real poppy, and it just drives so fast. It's so cool, because like you're just sitting here driving, and then just out of this little itty bitty 2,500 pound Mini, it just starts to haul. You give it gas and it goes. So the cool thing about the GPs is they actually make these cars every 7 years. So this car is a 2013 GP. It's basically finalizing the R56. They had an R53 GP that was made in 2006. So yeah, it's a very special car. Now, granted, the only kind of downside about this car, even though I think this is probably one of the only front-wheel drive cars I would really, really, truly want to track. I mean, there's not a big lineup of cars I'd want to do that with that are front-wheel drive. This car, a downside to this car is it is fairly pricey. Brand new, it was about $45,000, and I mean, it's a lot for this car. But you know, thinking about like what this car comes with coilovers. Like, naturally, this car is ready to do what you want it to do. It's really not a bad trade-off. Oh yeah, and also to add, the difference between a big difference between the GP and like the JCW and all of them is these actually don't come with rear seats either. So it really is an OEM track prepped car. Like, it's ready to go. I don't know, one thing about Minis that I've just always really adored, even with, you know, stock suspension or with lowering springs, is like the cars naturally are very responsive to any of the inputs that the driver has to put in. Like, there's really not like, well, first off, the car isn't a long car whatsoever. It's a very small car, so really whatever you tell the car to do, there's really not much of the car to move. And then along with this car is very light. It's set up very well from factory, even though, yes, you have fully adjustable coilovers from the factory, and you also get the custom spanner wrenches with the Mini Cooper GP stamped on them, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so I want to see how this car does in a straight line, just power-wise. So we're just going to roll out from this, go to about 60, and then we're going to test the brakes. Got some wheel spin, and then this thing has some serious stopping power. That is insane. One of the weirdest things for me at first was kind of getting used to the clutch. I usually don't have a hard time getting used to clutches, but this car, for some reason, it's just got a very, very bitey clutch. It just kind of bites. It just kind of sneaks up in it and it kind of gets you. But it's a very, very smooth car to drive, very easy car. The transmission is great. It's extremely easy to shift, very easy to drive, and like I said, I mean, the rear end just kind of does whatever you tell it to do. It just kind of follows. So something I really admire about cars like this, and if you've watched my other reviews, like, you know I really appreciate this about the owners when they do this, is the guy who actually owns this car tracks the car. And he drives the crap out of it, and he drives it like it's meant to be driven. And I love that, absolutely love that. Like I said, naturally these cars are supposed to be track cars from the factory. I mean, they are literally, it's just a track spec car that comes with sticky tires, better wheels, better brakes, better suspension, better power, like everything. Like, this is a track spec Mini. Just in general with this car, I like also just how comfortable it is. Like the seats that come with it, it's a very involving car. And one of my favorite things about Minis has been, I think the craziest thing, and I hate that they took this away from the Minis nowadays, but I love the fact that you have a giant speedometer in the middle. Oh, braking subtraction right there, that was awesome. It's really weird. This car's got some crazy torque. It's odd. It's crazy. Just getting in a little car like this and it just goes. It's not even meant for a straight line, and it's still just you can still do that with this car. This is great. But anyways, back to the interior. It's very comfortable. Like, you can tell when you sit in this car that it was meant to be driven on a track. It was meant to be driven in a high performance environment. So like the steering wheel is very small. You can grip it very easily. I mean, aside from how stiff the car is naturally, because like you can see in the engine bay, you've got a giant strut bar from the factory. Like I said earlier, you've got a big roll bar back there in the rear from the car. It's just like pairing that with the small steering wheel and the good brakes you get from it, and the seating, like just the seats that you get from factory. It's a great car. Like, you feel ready to go, and you feel well equipped for whatever track that you're about to drive on. This car would be great for autocross. It'd be great for track days. It's also just great for just enjoying some back road driving. It's doing great at that, actually. Oh, the pops. I love the pops. The exhaust is pretty crazy. I mean, this is pretty much a factory exhaust. Like, there is nothing actually done to this car. That's what's also crazy, is usually whenever I get in cars like this, a lot's been done. The owner has done a lot to it. They've put a lot of time and effort into certain things here and there. But that's kind of what I really appreciate about this car. I'm noticing it's very easy to shift. The pedal positioning is great. It's very responsive. Brakes work great. Another thing I really want to touch on is, this car is stiff from factory. It's very reinforced. It's very sturdy and very solid. However, when you're driving it, it's still a comfortable car. I don't feel like I'm driving a car that's, practically gutted, fully, braced in every which way. Like, I feel like I'm still driving a car that's like, it's streetable, it's drivable. It truly is. It really is just a fun car to drive around. Whether you're putting around on the street, just driving around town, or you are hooning on the track or an autocross event or whatever, like it's doable, and you're secure, you're well equipped from factory, and it's a fun car to drive. It really, really is. And there's a tighter turn. I just love how it's just like the car just goes. I mean, there's no argument there. Like, there's the rear end is not arguing with the front. There's really no, I mean, at least on the street, I'm not having any like major understeer, oversteer type thing. And it's funny. I have always said if there's a list of front-wheel drive cars that I would want to track, there's not many of them. But a Mini is very, very, very high up on the list, and this specific car is probably the highest up on that list, just because of what it is and just because it's so well equipped from factory. You have to compare it. You have, you got GTIs, you've got like, Honda Civics, DC2 Integras. You can do stuff to those cars, but like Minis are really they're so great, and people really underestimate the craziness that can come out of these cars. I'm not gonna lie, like, this car actually kind of blew my expectations away. This is a very cool car, and I say this in a lot of videos, but like, this is a car I would love, and I wish I had the ability to do this, but I would love to take this car on a track or on an autocross course, somewhere I can just literally just drive the crap out of it, because let's face it, I can't really do that in these videos. I would love to push this car to its limits, because it's just one of those cars where it's just like, you want more. Even at 100%, like, you just want more. But anyways, I very much love this car. I think this is a great car, probably one of the best front-wheel drive cars I could even imagine, because I've driven a lot of front-wheel drive cars, and I really don't think there's anything out there that could top this. So that is going to conclude my review of this 2013 Mini Cooper GP. Thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next video. Peace out. Peace. That's the signature, man.
Okay. Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, it's like the saw, dude. That kind of like peace, but it